Hey everybody, Mark Dawes here, and in this video I want to talk to you about handcuffs once again because I've received an email from someone asking for some information because the police in Scotland are threatening to arrest and detain some door staff who are carrying handcuffs. Now obviously I'm not privy to all the facts of the case, I can only comment on what I've been sent, but let me show you the email I've been sent. And it's been sent to me by a gentleman called Michael from Highlands Training, and it's not him that's got the issue, it's one of his colleagues got the issue who sent the information to him and he forwarded it on to me. So the information we've got reads as follows. It says, "Hi Mark, I received this from a student last night." And the student goes on to say, "Hi, how's you? Just to let you know that the police have been in and he is coming to have a meeting with us next Saturday night at 9 p.m. in, withheld the name of the place. He is basically saying that we are not allowed to use the handcuffs. He has researched and he has told us to get rid of them tonight and said that the course does not make a difference. Any advice, brackets, this is in Scotland, close brackets." I replied back to Michael, because obviously Michael sent me the email with what a student said in there, and I said, "Ask your student to ask the police officer what law prohibit the carriage and use of handcuffs. Also ask your student to ask the police officer if the officer is aware of his responsibility, liability and accountability under Article 13 of the European Convention on Human Rights." And this video explains handcuffs and Scots law, and I gave him a link to a video which I'll show you in a bit. And then I got this, Michael got this. It says, "I have spoken to another sergeant and he doesn't see any issues with it, so I will see what Saturday night goes." Then yesterday they got this. "Yes, he did, and it was not good news. Basically, to make a long story short, if he or any of the officers catch any bouncers with them, they will be lifted and put in a cell. I asked them what law did the sergeant say you were breaking. I can't remember, but he has done all his research." So that's what I received. I've put it in there, spelling mistakes and all. It's exactly copied and pasted from the information I've got. But let me just talk to you about this. This is Article 13 of the European Convention of Human Rights. Now, as far as I'm aware, the police are now allegedly quoting this article during their training, which states the following: "Everyone whose rights and freedoms, as set forth in this convention, are violated, shall have an effective remedy before a national authority, notwithstanding that the violation has been committed by a person acting in an official capacity, ergo the police." In lay terms, this means that if anyone has been violated by someone working or acting in an official capacity, they are entitled to a remedy before a national body, and possibly even an enforceable right to compensation, which comes under Article 5, bracket 5 of the Human Rights Act 1998. Now, one case in concern with this one is the case of RK and AK versus the United Kingdom. And the European Court of Human Rights awarded compensation to a couple from Oldham after it found that the UK had infringed their Article 13 rights after a child had been taken into care. So not to do with handcuffs, but you get the gist. The child had been taken into care after suffering a fracture which was thought to be non-accidental. Eventually the child was diagnosed with brittle bone disease, but the parents complained that the child had been removed because of a medical misdiagnosis. The implication of judgment is actually quite far-reaching. And with regards to the use of force, if we are giving incorrect or legally flawed advice, guidance, training and instruction, and that affects someone's human and civil rights, for example, they are arrested, suspended, investigated, etc., then that person has a right to challenge the advice, guidance, training and instruction, and they are also entitled to an enforceable right to compensation if it is found that the advice, guidance, training and instruction that they have been given infringe their rights. Now let's look at Article 5 of the Human Rights Act. That says that everyone has the right to liberty and security of person, and no one shall be deprived of his liberty save in the following cases and in accordance with a procedure prescribed by law. The overall purpose of Article 5 has been described by Strasbourg as ensuring that no one is deprived of their liberty in an arbitrary fashion. So in this case, the police officer should be explaining, at least telling them, what laws they are breaking and what laws they will be arrested under. It goes on in Article 5(1) bracket C, the lawful arrest, it has to be a lawful arrest, or detention of a person for the purpose of bringing him before the competent legal authority on reasonable suspicion of having committed an offence or when it is reasonably considered necessary to prevent his committing an offence or fleeing after having done so. Article 5, Part 2. Everyone who is arrested shall be informed promptly, in a language which he understands, of the reasons for his arrest and of any charge against him. So once again, they must be told why they're being arrested and what charges are being levied against them, what laws they are breaking, in other words. And Article 5, Part 4 says, everyone who is deprived of his liberty by arrest or detention shall be entitled to take proceedings by which the lawfulness of his detention shall be decided speedily by court, and his release ordered if the detention is not lawful. And the final bit, Article 5, Part 5 says, everyone who has been the victim of an arrest or detention in contravention of the provisions of this article shall have an enforceable right to compensation. And for those of you that have been working with us and have followed us on YouTube and various blog posts we've done, if you look at the word shall means must. So you've got the right to an enforceable a lot of compensation if your rights have been violated. Okay, so let's just have a look at this in more depth. If the police are saying, and I've done loads of videos on this, okay? I mean, in fact, let me show you something before we go any further. Let me show you this, because you can go and check this right here. This is our website. If you scroll to the bottom of the website here, you will see there is a YouTube channel. Watch us on YouTube. Click on that. Right, and our YouTube channel will pop up, and it looks like this. And then if you go along here to playlists, you can click on playlists, and you'll see there's a whole load of creative playlists there. And if you come along here, you'll see there's one on Scottish law there, and there's also one on handcuffs. And if you click on here, then there's a video on handcuffs. This is a lawyer's opinion, and there's a whole playlist there on handcuffs. So if you want to find out more about what the law actually says, what the police rights actually are, then that's a playlist on handcuffs that I recommend you watch. So the short and tall of it is that anyone is not committing any crime if they carry and use handcuffs. And I've covered this on numerous videos before. They're all there if you want to see them. The police have no right to arrest and charge you unless, of course, you are breaking the law, and you are entitled to know what law you are breaking, and they must tell you that. If they do arrest you and charge you without lawful excuse and without lawful authority, then you are entitled, under human rights legislation, to an enforceable right to compensation. I'll be interested in your comments. I'm sure this will open up an interesting discussion, but please leave some comments below. I know some of you, and I can think of a few names I won't mention right now, will have a few things to say about this, so I'll look forward to hearing from you very, very shortly. Thanks ever so much, and if you really like what you've heard, please leave a comment or like it, click the likey thing. Share it, leave a comment below, that would really help. Thanks ever so much, and I'll speak to you all soon.